Louis Mucciolo Jr., better known to the world as Louie Spicolli, was born on February 10, 1971 in Woodlands Hills, California. Growing up in a working-class Italian-American household, young Louie wasn't handed much, but he found something that lit a fire inside him early on: professional wrestling. Even as a child, Louie was full of energy, charismatic, mischievous, and endlessly passionate. Though he struggled with weight issues and early bouts of insecurity, he quickly learned to use humor and heart to win people over. Wrestling wasn't just entertainment for Louie, it was destiny. By the time he was just 12 years old, Louie was studying wrestling like a science, attending local matches, memorizing moves, and idolizing heroes like Roddy Piper, Eddie Gilbert, and Ric Flair. While other kids played sports, Louie dreamt of suplexes and steel cages. At 16, Louie took the next step. He began formal wrestling training under the respected Big Bill Anderson in Los Angeles. Despite his young age and a stocky build, Louie impressed trainers with his work ethic and deep understanding of ring psychology. Hungry for experience, Louie worked anywhere he could, often pulling double duty under different names on the same card. He was tireless, willing to take any bump, any role, just to learn. In 1988, as he turned 17, Louie made an extraordinary leap, working as an enhancement talent for the World Wrestling Federation. Through Big Bill Anderson's connections, Louie debuted on TV tapings across California, appearing on shows like WWF Superstars and Wrestling Challenge. Sometimes billed under his real name, sometimes as Louie Spicolli, he entered the squared circle against giants like the Ultimate Warrior, Ted DiBiase, and the British Bulldogs. The matches were short, but Louie's selling was masterful. His ability to make opponents' moves look devastating quickly made him a favorite among agents and veterans backstage. Though still green, Louie's reputation was growing. He was known for his bump-taking ability, his positive attitude, and his willingness to pay his dues, traits that would define both his rise in the business and, ultimately, his tragic fall. Louie spent the early 90s on the independent circuit. He wrestled for Herb Abrams' Universal Wrestling Federation as Cutie Pie and ventured into Arizona in 1991, where he captured the Interwest Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship under the alias The Zodiac. After more World Wrestling Federation appearances as an enhancement talent, he returned to Mexico as the Killer Blonde and even wrestled for Japan's Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling, until he was fired by Onita for throwing a bottle of urine out of a bus window. He had brief stints in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, where he feuded with Chris Candido for the United States Junior Heavyweight Championship and with AAA in Mexico as Madonna's boyfriend, joining the controversial Los Gringos Locos faction alongside Eddie Guerrero, Conan, and Art Barr. He wrestled in AAA's historic 1994 US pay-per-view, When Worlds Collide. This exposure helped him land back in the WWF in 1995, repackaged by a neighbor, and spent several days in intensive care. Though he recovered, the WWF released him under the condition that he not work for WCW for a year, fearing bad press so soon after the steroid trial. Louie's lifelong dream was to make it in the WWF. After he left the Federation, he isolated himself, and his appetite for party favors grew as he struggled with depression. But by mid-1996, he resurfaced in Extreme Championship Wrestling. Clashing with the likes of Tommy Dreamer, he found a new home. He started off as a babyface, but turned heel. Dreamer would later call Louie a talented, driven performer who left it all in the ring. His time in ECW was short-lived. ECW owner Paul Heyman discovered Louie had been negotiating with both the W and WCW behind the scenes. Combined with his ongoing drug issues, he was let go. Paul Heyman would later comment, "Louie had a spark, a real presence. You could tell he was heading for something big."